Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. Welcome to Transfer Hub, your home of Aston Villa's transfer news, links, rumours, noise, murmurings, incomings and outgoings. We are fast approaching 25.9k, getting close to 26k. So hit that subscribe button, get us over the line, smash the like button, and most importantly, comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Right, Calvert-Lewin is linked with a move to Aston Villa. I imagine one of those players, Marmite, yes or no. The injury record might put a couple of people off, but I actually don't hate this, and I'm going to tell you why I don't hate it. It's for the simple fact that he'd be coming on a free. Now, free doesn't mean free, does it? You pay the wages, the signing on fee, which generally, is a decent wedge of money. And the wages would be quite high for a player that has been on over 100 grand a week. Now, why do I like the Calvert-Lewin? I like it because it gives us backup to Ollie Watkins. And I've been watching all of the games. We've been doing our watch-alongs, and Watkins was back, looked very, very sharp. And pretty much Watkins is going to play every Premier League game that there is. I mean, last season we saw he got dropped for a couple of Champions League games, but I feel like Watkins stays, he plays pretty much every game. Now, we are in need of another option off the bench. Watkins might start most games, but what option off the bench do we currently have up top? Now, Emery's been playing Jimo Aloba, who for me, he's a left-sided player at number 10. He's been playing up top. I don't feel like he's the answer, and we could put Marlon there. We could rotate it round with options like that, which is fine, but we do need to sign a striker. And why I like Calvert-Lewin is that his profile is completely different to Watkins. And I actually feel like his aerial presence and dominance is a striker attribute that I feel like could complement our attack and strike force. Now, like I mentioned at the very start, he's quite injury prone, very injury prone, but he wouldn't technically be our out and out first choice striker. He would be off the bench. He would be maybe playing some Europa League games. So his minutes would be able to be managed. And I think at 28, Premier League experience, knows where the back of the net is, has hurt Villa numerous times over the years. He's actually pretty quick, so he can sort of run off a player and run off the back. We've seen him tearing through on our goal numerous times. And I actually rate him. I think if you take away the injuries, and he had that massive season, didn't he, where he was unplayable. And he is unplayable at times. And I think if he just settles down, body can recover, manages game time, I think it could possibly be a bit of a shrewd signing, to be honest. And you could put him on like a 2-year deal or something. And I feel all right about it, because the other thing that I think of is what do we go out and do? Do we go and try and unearth an unknown that's young, that learns off Watkins? How many Durans are out there? How many Duran stories are there? And I probably wouldn't say we're ever going to probably be in that situation for a while. I don't know. I don't feel like that situation where a player just comes out of nowhere, burst. It's bangers galore from absolutely everywhere. And I think this striker position is very difficult to recruit, because you're never gonna get a superstar, because while we've got Ollie Watkins, we are not going to get a striker that is out there that's tearing things up while Watkins, because the two won't work together. So something obviously has to give. Do you go with a bit more of an experience, somebody like when you sign in a number two, like they come in and they sometimes know their role. I'm not saying Bezo knows his role, because I actually feel like right now he's looking very, very good in my opinion. So I think it's an interesting one of which direction we go in, and obviously wages would be the major factor with someone like Calvert-Lewin, but I actually don't mind him. I think when he's fit, firing and on form, I think he's a good player, and I think a Premier League player with experience. I mean, the other alternate to what we do is we sign a younger player who we're going to have to nurture and grow and drip feed minutes, etc. Where someone like Calvert-Lewin, you kind of just pick up and play, just learn my system, adapt, go out and play, and hopefully score some goals. So for me, I think it would be quite a shrewd move, and I imagine there's probably people out there that really disagree with me. And that's fine. That is totally fine. So let's have a look at some of his numbers then over the last couple of seasons. So last season, we can see heat map predominantly in the 18-yard box. And to be fair, I mean, he's played 26 Premier League games last season, started 19. I mean, Kamara only started 20 or 21. So he played the same amount of minutes as Kamara. I mean, goals weren't the greatest last season, 3, and he got 1 assist. But obviously, they were having big problems at the start of the season under Dyche. Let's go the season before that then. So we've got 7 goals, 2 assists. We've got 22-23, 2 goals, 1 assist. Season before, 5 goals, 2 assists. Season before, 16. So the standout one was 2021, and we've got 16 goals, no assists. So, I mean, we could be looking at those numbers going, oh, he only got 3 and 1. What was the season before that? Was it 7? I mean, say, for example, if Calvert-Lewin was to come to Villa and get 7 to 10 Premier League goals, that's like very good return from a player that could be coming off the bench, and away games maybe different. And I actually feel like the profile of like how tall he is, and he's completely different. I actually feel like if we were gonna sign another striker, I'd like to see that little bit of an offset and a different balance. So we're getting a different option. So maybe away games, or I mean, imagine McPhee working with Calvert-Lewin. That would be brilliant, because if we have a look at Calvert-Lewin's core numbers and the areas that really stand out for Calvert-Lewin, and we go down here and we see the aerials. Now, the aerials are superb. He's in the top 8% of aerials won, and that's for forwards in the top 5 leagues. So aerially, imagine the height of Onana, Rodgers, Calvert-Lewin on set pieces. Different options. We might look at the player and go, actually, he's not for me. But the profile of player is something that would improve Aston Villa from time to time. He's winning 51.2% of his aerials, interceptions. We're in the top 8% of interceptions from forwards. So defensive work is good. I think we can see here touches in the defensive penalty area, top 8%, 1.45. So that tells me that he's winning those aerials when he's defending. Clearances, we're in the top 14%. Interceptions, like we've already mentioned. So I like the profile. And I think sometimes when we do these episodes, sometimes I like the player and I like the profile. And maybe I like the profile more than I like Calvert-Lewin. And maybe that's what I'm looking at. But I actually feel like this type of profile of player would be pretty good for Villa, especially off the bench. And not having to pay a fee, just wages, 2 years. Maybe that's something that we can work on. But obviously, fitness, injury record, we want a player that's able to play. But it is important for me that we do sign some form of forward in this window, because we know how robust Watkins is, but we can't expect him to. I mean, he's not playing 90 minutes for 38 Premier League games and all of the Europa League games and Carabao FA Cup. You know, he's robust, but he's not superhuman. So it's important. And is this a little savvy little pickup that we can get that just is a sort of little stopgap? Who knows? It'll be really interesting to hear what you guys have got to say in the comment section. And let's try and get these subscribers. Let's try and get to that 26. I mean, we can get there. We can get there before the start of the season. We can do that. We can do that easy. We can do that easy. So I just thought I'd just do this episode. I am very tired. Very tired. We did watch along. We did match reaction straight after. We made a little TikTok. So yeah, I'm very tired. But some little news has dropped. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about strikers. If he's not for you, who is out there that you would like us to pick up that's realistic? So cheers, everybody. Up the Villa. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode.